about all things nutrition and some stuff that has worked well for us. And we have time at the end for Q&A. But first of all, just like quick intros. I know you guys know, I think most of you know both of us, but I'm Molly Asplin, and I've been a health coach for 4 years now. And I've always been just more interested in the fitness side of things. That's kind of like my background, and just that's my jam. But I'll share some of my story with nutrition tonight. That's where I've really seen results, and that's where I've seen like my body change kind of from the inside out. And, you know, physically and emotionally, I've learned that food affects my mood quite a bit. So super excited to share around this topic tonight. And I live in Minneapolis with my husband, Steve, and our baby girl, Kate. She's 6 months. And yeah, I'm excited to be here with you all. I see some other moms, so that's great.
All the moms. You want me to dive into introduction?
Yeah, why don't you introduce yourself, Rich?
I think all of them know me, but I am Bridget Wyman. So anybody catching this in the feed, I'm Bridget Wyman, and I live in Spring Green, Wisconsin, the cold, balmy, 2-degree weather place that I want to escape from. And with my husband and my 2 little girls, we just got down for bed. And I have been an athlete all my life. I did not grow up with good nutrition. I grew up on a farm with steak and potatoes and cheesy green beans with Velveeta from a can. So definitely nutrition is not where I started at all. And let's see, where else am I going with that?
Yeah, no,
I'm excited to share with you guys, you know, like where I've come from. I was an athlete, so for years, I didn't really have to worry about nutrition. I mean, you could eat whatever you wanted. I was in every sport and dance and cheerleading, and so like you just went through life and went through the busyness of everything. And when I went away to college, I always kind of loved to cook because I got a little bit of that from my grandmother, but my staples were lasagna, spaghetti, tacos, and then I fell in love with pizza rolls in college. So was not my healthiest.
Yeah. Awesome, you guys. Well, tonight, Bridget and I are going to share some about our background with nutrition and just some turning point moments that both of us have had. And then we're going to share about the new nutrition program that both Bridget and I are currently getting certified in, and just some like big eye-opening moments that we've had already. And, you know, please feel free to, those of you who are on live, ask questions, you know, type in. We want this to be interactive, and then we will have time for Q&A at the end. So I'm going to kick off, ladies, with just where I've been with nutrition. So I can tell you that my past with nutrition has kind of been a roller coaster. I mean, I remember in high school, just like Bridget, I was an athlete, didn't really care about nutrition. Like it just wasn't, you know, I wasn't educated with it. I was like super active, and I think we're all probably had high metabolism in high school, so maybe you could eat whatever you wanted. I could, and I was like, you know, burning it off at a crazy rate, and just so much sugar. My parents, you know, did not like monitor what I was eating at all, and like they would always make me a second meal because I was a super picky eater. And so I just grew up with like no nutrition knowledge and really no care. And then I got to college and got very into exercise and had an exercise addiction, straight up exercise addiction, specifically with running. And it really, really created disordered eating for me. I was never diagnosed for anorexia, but I would have been. And so it really played with my mind around food. And, you know, I was like really into like Shape magazine and Self magazine and Health magazine and the Fitness magazine, you know, those titles. And I would read those, and, you know, it's so calorie driven. And you would see the marketing ads in there about like Wheat Thins and 100 calorie packs and the spray ranch dressing. And so I was so into all of that. And I would literally just count calories, and then I would know how many calories I was running with, and I would be like, okay, I'm offsetting. And so all I was ever trying to do was offset. And it created this really poor mentality around food. And so then I got out of college and I really tried to get myself out of that like cycle with food. And it took me a really long time to learn that food is fuel, and it's more about the content of the food than just that one line of calories. And that was a very hard mentality for me to break. But I remember looking in the mirror, kind of coming out of that disordered eating phase when I was, putting on weight in a semi-healthy way, but then I just didn't even feel good about myself because I was a little heavier than I should have been. And when you're coming out of disordered eating, anyone who's done it, it's a very hard process to go through. But I remember looking in the mirror and being like, I just need to figure this out. Like, I need to eat right. I don't want to count calories anymore. I don't want to have to run 6 miles a day. Like, there just has to be a better way. I was sitting in a cubicle all day long working in corporate accounting. And so I would, eat snacks in the afternoon and have to go get my sugar kick and have to go get my latte to just keep me going. And I knew that I was in a really just not a good place with food. And it's kind of like that slow death, or, that death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like, it wasn't one big thing. Like, I wasn't binging on big meals or anything like that, but it was those everyday choices that were making me so lethargic. By the time I got home in the evening, I was just like, bleh, on the couch. And I knew it was nutrition driven. So that was my turning point of like, I kind of have this figured out, but I don't. And I need something that just makes sense for long-term lifestyle, not a quick fix. I want a sustainable way to eat.
Yeah, definitely. I can relate to that in many levels. I don't think I ever had like a disorder, but I've definitely struggled with binge eating and emotional eating, which like growing up, I don't think I ever I don't think it hit me until college for some reason. And I don't know what triggers that in college. And as we age as women, I think a lot of us struggle with that, whether it be linked to sugar addiction or whatnot. But yeah, going through college, I think I really started struggling with the binge eating and trying to like fill those emotional gaps, and not quite understanding it. And then I also just thought I could always outwork what I ate. Mm-hmm. And when you go down to only one sport, it's completely different. And like you said, when you aren't fueling yourself with good food, like you're down on yourself and all those things. And it's just like this negative downward spiral. And my turning point was I, was always into the fitness, and I was big into jazzercise and like working out all the time. And then I hurt myself really, really bad. I hurt my back that I couldn't work out. Like the doctors told me no, I was in severe pain all the time. And so that's when I was like, okay, I can't have, lasagna every day and I really had no clue how to even fuel my body. So that was the turning point for me of like actually realizing, like it clicked, like I have to kind of take this into my own hands. Mm-hmm. That's when I, for the first time, ate like a bell pepper and all that stuff. And that was just the beginning. But from there, I went through more roller coasters of, prepping for your wedding, where you have to fit in this ideal, skinny, beautiful wedding gown. All I did was work out and eat salads. And sure, I was skinny on my honeymoon. I looked great in a swimsuit, but looking back at that now, I just see how it affected my mood and my mentality, and like wasn't even really able to enjoy that day because I was so focused on really like depriving myself. And then after that, it goes down the opposite end of back into emotional eating and all of that. So it's been a roller coaster, and that's what I've loved about this is like this program, one, taught me so much when I started it. And now that they have launched this new side of it, it's just deep diving so much deeper. And I think it is going to help people on a whole new level.
Totally. Yeah, Bridget, that's super relatable. And it's crazy how we go through all those different seasons, and like, no matter what season you're in, nutrition is so important, right? Now I see like a lot of moms on here, like nutrition is so important as a mom, because now I don't know about you guys, but I have days where you forget to eat. and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. And then like, you're just eating whatever you can find. And it's like, nutrition matters no matter what season you're at. Like, matters probably more than anything else. Any other choice we make every day is probably what we're putting in our body is the most important. So I don't know if Heather or Megan, if you guys are familiar with the containers, are you guys already fix people, container people? Have you used these? Oh, sorry, I muted you. Let me unmute you, Heather.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, there you go.
You muted me because my son turned on the music.
Sorry.
I was doing kind of a Weight Watchers
Okay.
before, which was working, but it's kind of okay.
I'm
Yep.
not sure how to help.
For sure. And I don't know if Megan can hear, or well, I'll unmute her in case she wants to say anything. Looks like she's unmute, so we'll let her be.
I'm here.
Hi, Megan. Are you a container girl too? Have you ever used the portion control containers?
I did, yes. And then I switched to 2B Mindset when that came out.
Perfect. So the ladies on the call are kind of familiar with these, you guys, but basically these were part of the original 21-day fix program. And they're based around macros. So people who are like, oh, I follow macros, like these are macros. That's what that's what they are. And there's one for each food group, and you can refill them multiple times a day, depending on how much your body needs and your activity level. But what they've done is they've taken it from like a 500-foot level of like, here's what you need, go eat your containers, that's it, to like a 2,000-foot level where they're really teaching you and educating you the why behind it. And not only the why behind it, but they're giving you various options so that if you do, have a cruise coming up and you want to drop those last 5 pounds, they're giving you a safe, sustainable way to do that. If you're like, oh, I like my wine and I like my desserts, they're giving you a path to do that, and kind of like a lifestyle type path. If you are training for performance, training for a half marathon, or you are really serious about your workouts, there is an option for what they're calling timed nutrition. And so really like fueling your body for that performance type activity. But they've taken it on a deeper level. We're going to share some of about our learnings tonight. And Bridget's going to kick us off with just kind of like the background behind how we eat and why we eat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another really thing I'm super excited about this for, the phase of life I'm in and people that I work with is it also takes it to the level of not only performance and all those other things, but for moms, like during pregnancy and breastfeeding, which personally were just, I wanted to stay on track during that time, but there wasn't a lot of guidance before now as to how to do so and understanding what your body needs. I mean, yes, working with your doctor as well, but then actually understanding and being able to dig into that. So that's a really cool piece for moms. But a part of this program that I am incredibly passionate about is that it digs deeper into, like Molly said, your why. So it's not just telling you to, eat this and this and this, and you'll either lose your weight or you'll feel your best or whatever, because we've learned that cool, people did that for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then there was no connection, like no emotional connection with that. So they fell off. Mm-hmm. And then they didn't get back on, or they got back on for a little bit for a wedding or whatnot. But not only is it tied way deeper to your why, but it also digs into the psychology behind our food. So think about growing up, like, or even think about in today, like if you really dig in and think about in a day or in a week, what does your relationship with food look like? Are you always eating standing up? Are you always eating in your car? Are you starving yourself all day and then your head's in the pantry at night shoving whatever you can in because your body needs food? And then think like, well, why is that, And then you might start realizing like, oh, my mom did that. Or, I never saw my dad eat vegetables. I hate vegetables. I mean, I know my husband's guilty of this. I hate broccoli because nobody in my family likes broccoli. I'm like, it doesn't make sense, but okay. So if it digs in and like, it's just eye-opening to see that's why I have this trigger, or that's why I make this choice, because subconsciously, that's what we saw. So same thing, you know, I feel like a lot of us are on a similar age frame. And back in when we were going through adolescence, I think it was very common to watch our moms be on these diets. Like there was one fad diet after the other. And so when you see that happening too, like you're constantly seeing this yo-yo, and we just inherit that lifestyle and think like, oh, I got to do this now and then do this now. Whereas this digs into understanding why you do that, but then helping you overcome it and then create the lifestyle around the balanced nutrition, which I think is very powerful, because I think we all have a lot of conceptions on what is good and what is bad and this and that. But this isn't about deprivation. It's not about starvation. It's about really learning and listening to your body and what fuels you for your best performance, your best mindset, your best energy levels. And then, you know, I have worked with tons of people on nutrition and groups that I've offered and meal plans and recipes and a lot of moms, and we have a lot on our plate. And a lot of times nutrition, it's frustrating with your kids because you're learning it can take up to like 12 times of your child trying one food to even develop a taste bud for it. So that's hard, you know, after one night of struggle, it's easy to throw in the towel, and just give in to whatever they're asking for. And there's going to be nights like that. That's reality. But this is going to challenge you and say, okay, the struggle isn't worth it tonight. But we have to think about the psychology now that we're passing on to our children. So if we choose to take on that battle now, we're setting them up for success when they're the ones in college that learned from us the healthy habits and how to have a balanced nutrition, balanced meal plan. And two, you're showing them how to properly grocery shop. You're showing them how to meal prep. Like it goes through all of those things. Like there are video modules. How do you read labels in the grocery store? How do you, teach your kid how to grocery shop? How do you make it fun so that when you're in the grocery store, they're picking out the vegetables and they're taking ownership of that. And then they get home and get to help you with it. And it's going to change their excitement level versus mom doing all the work and shoving a plate in front of their face. So I think, that's my biggest challenge for people, and just my excitement for this is like digging into why we do what we do, and then how can we set up good examples for our children so that they know how to fuel their bodies and they know how to grocery shop and all of that, because they'll need that when they leave the house.
I think you were saying, Bridget, like sometimes as moms we say like, that's just not a battle I want to deal with. Like share about that a little bit, because I thought that was an aha moment I had that you had shared earlier.
Yeah, I've heard from many moms, like through recipes I've shared, or I'm always like a proponent of sneaking in veggies where you can. Like I make enchiladas and sneak in tons of vegetables, but my daughter thinks they're chicken enchiladas. And not that I have to do that, because she does eat vegetables most days. But it's developing that palate for them. And a lot of moms will say it's not worth the battle. It's not worth the fight. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna push back on that and give some tough love, because again, it's a bigger picture. Like tonight, it may have been difficult. It may not have been worth the fight, but you have to think about how you're setting them up in life. We want to set them up for success in all areas. And by taking on that battle tonight with their dinner, or at least trying, and then trying again tomorrow and trying again tomorrow, you're going to thank yourself, because their life, their children's lives, it's worth the fight and the battle in my mind. Yes. And this program will help you do that. It'll reframe just the difficulty that we have with children in today. And it even goes into sugar addiction. And the sad truth is our children take in 34 teaspoons of sugar a day. And that's obviously, as parents, we're not feeding them spoons of sugar, but if they are taking in processed packaged foods, or if they are even taking in school lunch nowadays, pizza at school lunch is considered a vegetable because it has tomato sauce on it.
Oh.
And 1 cup of tomato sauce in today has as many grams of sugar as 3 Oreos. So it's not a balanced diet.
Great vegetable.
But it's a vegetable.
But it's a vegetable. Oh, that's wild.
So we just have to, I know we have to choose our battles, but we also have to think about like longevity and like how are we fueling our kids for success and teaching them to really care for their bodies, because we don't want them to be talking poorly to themselves. We want them to feel their best. You know, think about the energy they need to get through a whole school day and then come home and spend time with you as well.
Right. Well, and I think so much of that is modeling too, right? So it's like what we're doing as the parents and as the moms, I think specifically, a lot does, I think, fall on us, is like they want to do what we're doing. It's just like if they see you exercising, right? They're like, oh, that's cool. I want to do it too. And so what I want to share a little bit more about, you guys, is this can sync up with whatever you're doing. I love it because if you're a paleo person and you like to follow that kind of eating lifestyle, there's something for you. If you're vegan, vegetarian, like that can fit in with this. If you're training for a marathon, if you're pregnant, if you're postnatal, like there's kind of all the avenues instead of just like, okay, here are your containers, like add in a few extra if you're pregnant, it was hard. There was gray area. So this can really sync up now with whatever you're in. I like that Heather shared that, she had done Weight Watchers in the past, because you guys, I like the Weight Watchers concepts. I do, and I know they've kind of evolved it throughout the years. But this is going to focus on the content of food. So it's not just going to focus on just calories, just sugar. It's going to focus on the whole picture. And I think that's so valuable, because we've learned that a calorie is not a calorie, right? Not all calories are created equal. So I've learned so much in the last few days just from watching these videos and taking notes. But really, there are 3 main paths that you can take with this. And of course, you can switch to different paths as you go. So like I mentioned, the first one is called the foundational fix. That would be kind of just like your good old-fashioned kind of breakfast, lunch, dinner snacks, probably how a lot of us eat today. But she's going to teach you the right amounts. If you are having the treats like the wine and the beer, how often should you be doing that? Can you be doing, how often can you be doing that? If you want to have a dessert, what are healthy ways to make it a little healthier? So instead of butters and sugars, we can do honey, and we can do some sweeteners, and like what kind of sweeteners should I use? What ones are actually chemicals that I don't want in my body? All that kind of stuff that you wonder about, that can fit into the foundational fix, and your family can eat that way, right? Very user-friendly, I'll call it. The second way is timed nutrition. So if you are someone who is training, working out, you want your body to become that furnace and metabolize at an optimal level for performance. Timed nutrition is really focused on eating around your workouts at certain times so that your body is at optimal performance. And then the last option, and this is not one that you would want to do for a long term, it's a short-term option if you are working hard for a certain goal, is carb cycling. And so she's going to go into like what times a day to have carbs, and you phase out carbs at certain points. And it's not like just Autumn, you guys, this isn't just like Autumn Calabrese's stuff. It's science, like she has taken the courses and she has competed, and she has, she's very educated on this stuff. So it's not just like one random fitness professional giving you this guidance. But I'm excited about the carb cycling because it's something I've always wondered about. And to be honest, I've like Pinterested it and Googled it. But when I look at it online, I'm like, oh, is that like, I don't want my brain to be foggy at 3 p.m. because I haven't eaten carbs. Like I want to know how to do it the right way so that when I am going on my cruise in 20 days, like maybe that is something that I experiment with the 2 weeks beforehand, or, whatever her guidance is. But I'm excited to do these things in a safe way, and not in a like, oh, I found this on Google, let me give it a shot. And then I quit on day 3 because it's like, oh, I wasn't doing that properly. So, and like I said, you can do these alongside any fitness routine. So you don't have to be doing a Beachbody program or the 21-day fix to incorporate these. If you are a Beachbody user, I will say there is a specific formula they are providing for every single program that you're doing on what macronutrients, what nutrition should go along with it, with the Ultimate Portion Fix. So if you're doing Shift Shop, there's going to be an option for you. If you're doing 21-day fix extreme, there's an option for you. Transform 20. So I think that is really nice because, you know, it takes away the guesswork, and they're making it so much easier for us to be like, okay, here's my plan, here's my formula, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Anything
Yes,
else to add on that, Bridge?
Gosh, it's hard because there's so much, because I'm so excited about all the details, but I think we kind of dabbled in like sugar addiction, which is a huge epidemic right now. Like I said, our children have 34 teaspoons of sugar a day just because that's hidden in our different packaged processed food. And that doesn't include, that's not like good sugar from fruit. Like we do need the natural sugars from fruits and other foods because it has phytonutrients that help like our brain cells develop and all of that type of stuff. But that's like white sugar. And then, you know, the other thing she shared was on average, one person takes in 150 pounds of sugar a year. So that's incredible. And just learning how she will walk you through then too, how do you break that addiction? Because it's hard. I mean, those fake sugars and those fake chemicals and stuff, like there's engineers out there that are creating food to be addictive. So she'll walk you through how to naturally, you know, take yourself off of that. And there may be adjustment for some people depending on what their current nutrition looks like, but she already knows what to expect and will walk you through, like, you're going to feel foggy, you're going to have a headache. You know, once you get through that first week, that first 2 weeks of that better, more balanced, solid nutrition, you'll be amazed by just, you know, that brain fog is lifted and you can beat those sugar addictions. And then us as your coaches, that's why Molly and I are getting certified in this, because we get to take it to a whole nother level for you guys and help you stay on track.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited to like totally complete it, because Bridget and I are, would you say we're both about halfway through?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so too. So we've got a little more to work on, you guys, but we're just like, learning so much. And just knowledge is power. So what you get, you guys, if you decide like, you know what, that sounds kind of cool. Like I need to up my game on nutrition. Like it's kind of been my missing piece, or I know I could take it from good to great. I have the basics, but like I should learn this stuff better for my family, if nothing else. It's 30 short step-by-step videos. So, and the videos are like max 10 minutes long. A lot of them are 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So today I was playing them like when I was in the car. It helps if you can watch them, but if you're just listening, I know a lot of us are moms and we don't have time to sit down and watch. Audio is fine. I don't feel like I've missed out at all, but I've been listening. You get a workbook as well, so you can write down, you can take notes on each module as you go. Within the workbook, there's something called why mapping, like mapping out truly why you want to work on this or why you want to work on it for your family. Because I think a lot of us know that if you don't have the emotional connection and you're like, oh, I just want to do this to lose 10 pounds. I just want to do this because I'm going on a cruise and I want to feel good in a bathing suit. That's not really enough, right? That's very surface level. It might help me lose 5 pounds for the cruise, but beyond that, like there's no substance there. I know that I have more in me, and that workbook is going to pull that out of you by asking you probably some deeper questions about your background, psychology, all of that. There's also short-term, long-term goal setting with very specific questions, not just like, what are your goals? Because I think that's always like, I don't know what my goals are, but they lay this out nicely so that, you know, you can do the work and help yourself get from point A to point B. You get obviously a set of the containers. For those of you that have them, you probably know like it's nice to have another set, because I always tend to have one missing or one in the dishwasher, or Bridget's kids are taking them, all of that. You get a month's worth of Shakeology. I mean, Bridget and I could go on about Shakeology for like another hour, but I will say it's so much more than a protein shake. It has prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes. Most shakes out there do not have that, you guys. I can confidently say I have tried pretty much every shake on the market, and until I came across Shakeology, I had not felt a difference. And I had all these powders in my pantry, and when I found Shakeology and I drank it for 30 days, they all went in the garbage, because I was like, okay, I finally found one. And you compare the ingredient labels, and it's just, it's like no other. So I won't get on a Shakeology tangent, aside from the fact that it's amazing. Try it for 30 days, see how you feel. But please drink it consistently for 30 days, because you're not going to feel a difference in a day. You're not going to feel a difference in a week. It's just like a workout. You're not going to lose 10 pounds from doing a workout for a week, right? But you do it consistently, and that's where your body is going to heal and going to feel a difference from the inside out. So you get a month's worth of that. You get a cookbook. So she has Fixate version 2. Some of you already have probably the first Fixate cookbook. This is a second edition with all new recipes. You get access to her cooking show, which you can stream from the app or from the website. You get 75 healthy lunch ideas for kids. Bridget, you want to share anything on that one?
Super excited about it.
Lunch boxes.
Yes, so Autumn Calabrese has created 75 different healthy lunch ideas for kids. And it's not like, it is, you can have them as adults as well.
Right.
One in there that looks delicious is a broccoli, sorry, did I cut out there? A broccoli mac and cheese. Who doesn't love mac and cheese? So they're all like very, very good foods, but she went through the same struggle that all of us do with our kids, of like, sometimes they just don't eat what's on their plate. And she was sick of the battle, so she created 75 different options is huge. So
that's a lot of lunches.
Yeah, great for you, great for your kiddos, great for your hubbies. And Fixate in general, incredible. So I talked about tomato sauce. When you buy it jarred, very high in sugar, she has one of my absolute favorite tomato sauce recipes, and I like to make it in bulk and then freeze it, and then you just have it on hand.
For sure. That tomato sauce recipe, we really like that too.
Mm-hmm.
You get access to the nutrition tracking and the program through an app as well. So I know a lot of my clients are like, I need an app for that. I need to track on the app. But if you're a workbook person, you're going to have a physical copy too of a daily logbook. So that's what I prefer. I like to write things down. Whatever method, you've got it there. And then you're going to get, obviously, one-to-one coaching from Bridget or I, and a spot in our accountability groups and everything. And I just want to reiterate, guys, it doesn't matter what workout program you're doing. If you're a CrossFit person, wonderful. If you are rocking it out at Snap Fitness, wonderful. If you're doing nothing for your workouts and you're like, I just kind of want to focus on nutrition, awesome. This is a nutrition-only program, and I think that's special because it can sync up with all those phases of life.
But the huge bonus with it is you do get access to 21 Day Fix, which was the original program that this nutrition launched with. And it's 5 years old now, and they are reshooting it in live time. And I did one of the workouts with Autumn in LA at our leaders conference, and it was incredible. Kicked my butt, even though 21 Day Fix was the first program I ever did. And the cool thing is it's going to be live and starting in April. And she's doing the program, but switching it up and making it more progressive. So the original 21 Day Fix was literally 7 different workouts, and you just did them 3 weeks in a row. Now, every single one will phase, and make it a little bit more of a challenge as you go. So it will be more challenging for the entire 3 weeks. It'll be brand new, so it's fun, good variety. And then that goes right into 21 Day Fix Extreme. So it's a good progression of basically a 6-week program that you get access to with this program.
Oh, that's going to be so fun.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. It's going to be like throwback, but with a little more since she's doing the progressive thing.
But that's like an all-time favorite for everybody.
Totally.
So
And I haven't really met one person who doesn't like it.
yeah.
Really good workouts. So you guys, the price, because I know people will ask, is $160. So $160 for the videos, for the 75 lunches, for the cookbooks, for the containers, for your workbook, for your logbook, 30 Days Shakeology, if I didn't say that already. And then obviously the app and your spot in the groups and everything like that. So I think it's a really good price point. You're saving $100 compared to purchasing the items separately. Bridget and I both got in on it this week, and it's on promo right now. So I don't know what the price is going to go up to, but this is currently the promo price, and I feel like I'm getting my money's worth, don't you, Bridget, just from the videos?
I cannot wait. I got the lunch box too.
Oh yeah, I did too. The lunch box is like an add-on that they ask you if you want it at the checkout, and I was like, yup, I need that.
And anybody who's passionate about nutrition or, in general, like there's an option to get certified in this. And for me, like I have people I've worked with that have considered getting certified in other nutrition programs because they have such a big passion for nutrition. And those other programs that they were looking into were literally $4,000.
Yeah.
And then, you what do you do with that? I mean, we have a platform that we get to connect with all of you and share it with you. So it's really powerful.
Yeah, I like that it's the hot topics, because yes, I know, you guys, you're not going to pay $160 and get like super, super scientific. And I think that makes sense. But I like that it's the topics that are so relevant and the ones that we're all dealing with. And she does go into some science, like I'm not, she has to like go in the macronutrient stuff, but I like the level that it is for, the busy working person, because Bridget and I are able to do this on the side of our work and family life and everything. So.
And the cool part too, I will say, like in the videos, because Autumn does them all, and it's raw, real Autumn. Like it's not like, in a box nutrition certification. It's Autumn who you see in the videos and who we see at conferences, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I think she's doing it. I think she does a really good job, and she's got an audience, like a test group there with her. So they're asking questions and she's, interacting with them, and it makes it just very real and easy to listen to. So awesome, guys. Well, I'm just going to check if there's any questions that popped up on the feed.
I don't see any.
Okay.
Do Heather or Megan have any questions?
I don't think so. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And if you do have questions, I'm sure some people are going to watch this in the feed after the fact. Just drop them. Bridget and I will see the comments. We will reply. And thanks for spending time with us tonight.
Yes. Thank you for your time, ladies.